Welcome back, students. How are you all? Study time now. Ready with your notebooks and your pens? Okay, students. In the last English class, we had read about a poem named Whistle Away. In that poem, we had read about the message given in the poem by the poet. We had recited the poem. Okay, we had understood the meaning of the lines of each stanza. In today's class, we are going to move ahead and we'll begin with learning about the rhyming scheme of the poem. So, just have a look at the screen, students. This is the first stanza of the poem. I will read out the stanza for you. Whistle away, my merry boy, with happy face and heart of joy. If it will help you to be strong, whistle a tune when things go wrong, and whistling lightens it for you. Now, just look at the first two lines. Whistle away, my merry boy, with happy face and heart of joy. Now the last word, boy, and the second line, last word, joy. Boy and joy. They both rhyme with each other, students. So the alphabet given there is small in red A. Small a is written over there because they both rhyme together. Boy and joy. I'm sure you have learned the rhyming words in your lower classes. So you know what are those. Rhyming words are same sounding words. Okay. Now we'll go to the third line. If it will help you to be strong, whistle a tune when things go wrong. Now strong and wrong. Look at the last word, strong and wrong. They both rhyme with each other. So the alphabet written over there in green is small b. Alphabet B. Now the next line, and whistling lightens it for you. And whistling lightens it for you. The last word, you. Now let us go to the next stanza and the first line, if ever your task is hard to do. Now the last word is do. Do, you, both same sounds. So the alphabet written over there in yellow is small c. Now we go to the next line. Whether it be sowing the seeds, hoeing the corn, or pulling weeds. Now look at the last words, seeds, weeds. Both same sounding words. So the alphabet given there is in blue small d. Okay. Now we'll go to the next line. Gathering fruit or raking hay or driving cows, whistle away. Now, raking hay. Look at the last word. Hay, away. Same sounding words. So the letter given there is E. Letter E. Now, we'll go to the next stanza. Whistle a tune if you can't sing, and that should seem the next best thing. That is, sing and thing. The last words, they both rhyme with each other. So the alphabet given there is F, small f. The next line, that you can do, perhaps 'twill cheer the hearts of some who chance to hear. Now, cheer and hear, the last words, they both rhyme with each other. So the alphabet given there in orange is G. Now here we come to the last stanza of the poem. I will read out for you. Better to whistle than to pout, and scold and fret no one can doubt. So keep a merry heart, my lad, and thus make other people glad. Do all the good you can each day, and as you toil, whistle away. Now this is the last stanza. Let us look at the first line. Better to whistle than to pout. The last word is pout. The second line. And scold and fret, no one can doubt. Pout, doubt. Doubt is, look at the spelling of doubt. D-O-U-B-T. The B is silent, but the sound is doubt. So pout and doubt, they both rhyme with each other. So the alphabet given is H. Now we go to the next line. So keep a merry heart, my lad, and thus make people glad, and thus make other people glad. So now the last words are lad and glad. They both rhyme with each other. So the alphabet given there is I. Okay. Now we go to the next. Do all the good you can each day, and you, as you toil, whistle away. Do all the good you can each day, and as you toil, whistle away. The alphabet given there is E. Now you may wonder, E is already given again, again it is E. You must be confused. The thing is, we will go back to the second stanza. Look at the last two lines. Gathering fruit or raking hay or driving cows, whistle away. Now hay and away. So the alphabet was already given for that same sound was E. So here again, in the last two lines, day and away, they rhyme. They all are the same rhyming words. So we have used the same letter E. Okay. So here we have finished the entire poem. Now let us see what is the rhyming scheme of the poem. The rhyming scheme of the poem is AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, FF, GG, HH, II, EE. Repeat. The rhyming scheme is AA, BB, CC, DD, EE, FF, GG, HH, II, and EE. So children, we learned about the rhyming scheme of the poem. Now we have understood the poem, we have understood the message that the poet had conveyed in the poem. Now let us test ourselves whether we will be able to answer some of the questions of the poem. Okay? Now we shall do a short recap. You will find some questions on the screen, and let us try to answer those questions. Okay? On your screen you have a question. What does the poet suggest one should do if things go wrong? Now, as you remember, the poet in the first stanza itself, the poet had suggested that if you things go wrong, just whistle a tune. So let us see how we can frame an answer for that. Now here the poet suggests that one should whistle a tune if things go wrong. What does the poet suggest? The poet suggests that one should whistle a tune if things go wrong. Let us move to the next question. Here is the question for you. Why does the poet ask the boy to whistle when doing a difficult task? I repeat the question, students. Just have a look. Why does the poet ask the boy to whistle when doing a difficult task? Now, let us check. The poet, according to the poet thinks that whistling helps a difficult task feel less punishing than it actually is. That means when you are doing some hard work, like you're feeling, oh my god, this is so tiring, I'm so tired to do this, when will this get over? You get that feeling. So when that time poet is saying that if you whistle or you sing a song, that work will be less tiresome for you. It will not be that tiring for you. So how the poet is saying is that the poet thinks that whistling helps a difficult task feel less punishing than it actually is. You feel like it's a punishment. Oh, like when this will get over. So poet says whistling helps a difficult task feel less punishing than it actually is. Now we go to the next question. What, according to the poet, is the best thing to do if you cannot sing? I repeat, what, according to the poet, is the best thing to do if you cannot sing? As I had said earlier, everybody cannot sing, right? You should have a very good voice quality to sing, correct? So people, if they don't have a good voice, they don't like to sing. So poet is saying the best thing if you can do if you cannot sing is whistling is the next best thing to singing, according to the poet. Poet is saying no problem, never mind if you can't sing, you can whistle. So whistling is the next best thing to singing, according to the poet. Let us move ahead. Why do you think that the person whistling can bring cheer to other people's heart? Now the poet is asking why do you feel that when somebody is whistling, it gives some sort of happiness to other people? Why is it so? Let us check the answer. Now, joy increases when we share it with other people. For example, if you have a good news, you are so happy, so excited, you want to share it with your friends, your parents. And what happens when you share it? When they hear the news, they also feel happy. So the happiness multiplies. Okay. So joy increases. The joy increases when we share it with other people. The happiness in a tuneful whistled melody can therefore be shared by many people. Somebody is singing a good song, very beautiful song, beautiful melody. Others are hearing, so they also feel good to hear. So it can be shared by many people. I repeat, joy increases when we share it with other people. The happiness in a tuneful whistled melody can therefore be shared by many people. Now we move to the next question on your screen. What advice does the poet give in the end? Let us see what advice he gives in the end. Now, the poet shares the advice of positivity at the end. He or she, as you know, the name is not revealed. We don't know the poet's name. So we just assuming he'll be a man or a woman. So he or she appeals to the readers. Now who are the readers? We are the readers. To be hopeful and to share their cheerfulness with people around. You have to always be cheerful and not to get worried and show the tension in your face, so that everybody come to know that something is wrong. We should not allow that. We should try to be, whatever it is, we should try to be happy and take it easily. Okay, that is what the poet is saying. You have to positivity. He gives the advice of the poet shares the advice of positivity at the end. He appeals to the readers to be hopeful and to share their cheerfulness with people around. Whatever happiness is there, you have to just be cheerful and share it around amongst your friends and the people whom you love. Now let us go to the next question on the screen. Just have a look, students. How does the poet address the boy? If you remember, the poet is he is giving a personal touch by addressing the child. Let us see what was that. The poet makes use of the terms like my merry boy, right? In the first line, you can recollect it, my merry boy. Then in the last stanza, my lad, to address the little boy. The poet makes use of the terms like my merry boy, my lad, to address the little boy. Now, on your screen, the next question. List out the farming activities mentioned in the poem. Now, there were so many farming activities in the poem. I had shown you so many pictures of hoeing the corn, pulling the weeds, sowing seeds, okay, raking the hay, okay, gathering fruit. So many pictures also was I had shown you all, and there were many farming activities mentioned in the poem. So let us recollect those. Yeah. On your screen, students, just have a look. Hoeing the corn, pulling weeds, gathering fruits, raking hay, driving cows are some of the farming activities mentioned in the poem. Hoeing the corn, pulling weeds, gathering fruits, raking hay, and driving cows are some of the farming activities mentioned in the poem. Now, students, we have dealt with this poem, a very beautiful poem. I hope you all liked it. Very beautiful poem, and a very beautiful message was conveyed through this poem. The poet has conveyed how we have to be kind and how we have to spread positivity, how we have to be, don't let be frustrated, or any problem is there, any hard work is there, how can you lighten up your and ease your stress by just whistling a tune. These were the message that the poet had given us in this poem. And we had also recited the poem. We also learned how to give the rhyming scheme for the poem, and I'm sure you have understood, and you will be able to answer any questions asked from the poem. And I will be sending you worksheets. I will be giving you some activities. I'm sure you will be able to do those very easily. Okay, so we will meet in the next English class. Till then, have a nice day, students.